welcome back to another edition of The Morning View.
Anton Semenyo. That is the name. That is the name. Is that the player? Is that the right one? According to David Ornstein, yes. So you know it ain't rubbish. He has a 60 plus 5 million release clause that will be activated or can be activated in January. And in the summer, it's going to be less. We know from reports that Semenyo rejected Man United in the summer and also rejected Spurs in favor of staying at Bournemouth and signing a new deal. Look how he's been performing. Look how well he's been doing. Look what a good player he is. United fans, should we enter the chat? We tried to already in the summer, by the way, which probably would have been a left 10, is my assumption. But it's got us thinking. We're going, raw. Anton Semenyo, left wing back. Physical, powerful, strong, can get up and down. When we have the ball, can definitely turn into a left winger. That's what we want from our left wing backs, right? Look at Ahmad. We need another Ahmad on the other side. We need an attacking convert, not somebody who's a defender trying to just learn how to attack, etc. No, we want to be on the front foot. I'm saying do it. If you can get him, plus persuade him, by the way, to be like, I know you're a great left winger, but come play left wing back. We can work on that, Antoine. We believe in you. Yeah, we spoke. Yeah, we saw you on tour, bro. You know what Man United's about. So let's do it. I'm saying let's do it for the right price. Let me know what you guys are saying in the comments. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome to the Morning View. Welcome. Yes, I made it. In this show, we're going to be talking, of course, about Anton Semenyo. We're going to be talking about Benjamin Sesko's injury length as well. We touched on it last night. And on last night, can I just say, again, big up to each and every single one of you guys, man, who logged in, just gave us your time, your energy. A lot of people donated. The attentiveness you lot showed, the laughs, the vibes, the jokes, everything. Big up to everybody who stepped onto the stream, gave up their time, no matter where they were, what they were doing. You know what I mean? Some people stayed on for hours and hours. Some people quickly jumped on because they was like, I got to be there, you know, and we raised across all the platforms, which is the donation on the GoFundMe, our super chats here, etc., etc. We raised probably just under £4,500 to take, and actually during the night it's gone up even more. They're nearly at 19k. Yeah, it's 18,906 for the One Love football fans for Jamaica. Donation
so the super chats, it will take it over that, yeah. So it'll be over 19, you know, yeah.
Super chats take it over that. So yes, we've got a show to do this morning. We'll do it. I'm just about awake. I was giving it a big one, like before I went to sleep. I was like, hey, you know what? I've been sitting there 6.5 hours and I don't even feel tired. Like, yeah, I feel like it's gone quick. It's been a pleasure.
Crash.
Joe Blackman goes, not tired. All right, then let's continue playing some EAFC. I goes, hold on, Joe. I am going to leave the stream and go straight to bed. Like, I am going to do that. And then it weren't until I woke up this morning. I was like, 2 months. I was like, Owen, you might have to.
I did wonder. I woke up and I checked my phone this morning and I saw a message from Flex and I thought, I wonder what this will say. And it just said, I'll meet you in there. I'll meet you in there in the morning.
Meet you in there because normally we get up a bit earlier, you know, we talk about 7:30 about the show, what we're going to do. And I was like, I won't make that bit. I'll leave that bit to you, but I will be there. I need that extra hour or hour and a bit. So yeah, man, it was incredible. Owen, to you as well. It was brilliant. You was brilliant. You know,
well,
great
you mispronounced my name there. You know,
it's not Owen. I have mispronounced your name. Yes,
got to say it properly.
Owen.
There you go. There you go.
Make sure you let your dad know as well. You know, when if he's going to ring you, he's going to contact you and you know, let him know you've been to Depot. You've changed the name on the proper forms. You know, it's O to a H. Yeah.
That's what I'll be. I'm hoeing. I'm hoeing. You know, I'm learning all the time. Every day's a school day. You know what I mean? So I'm hoeing. And the thing is, now every time I see White Yardie, that's what it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely.
All the time. That's what it's going to be. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and for a great cause, isn't it? it's always great to see the communitying, isn't it? You know what I mean? When people coming together, it just makes you feel good inside to be a part of something like that, doesn't it? You know, and for a fantastic cause. And obviously, look, the work doesn't stop. You know, just because these charity streams have ended, you know, the work's still ongoing. Over at Murky FC, like White Yardie was saying, he was like, well, I'm going to go up there in a couple of months' time and get boots on the ground, see what needs to be done. And it's just really the beginning, isn't it? But amazing. And look, it continues from All Elite.
It continues.
Not even stopped. It's continuing, Fleck.
Big up All Elite, man. Says, sorry, I wasn't able to donate this during the stream last night, but please put this towards the Jamaica Fund. Love, peace to everyone. All Elite, look at that, man. Thank you so much, brother. And we definitely will make sure that gets added to last night's pot, because actually, guys, I'm not even going to lie. It is still open, guys. Obviously, we're not live streaming for it now, but just to let you know, we should probably have that QR code, bring it up again, you know. We'll obviously do the Gowan Live stuff shortly, but if there's a way after we've done the Gowan Live, because actually it is still open, of course, just because DR and I aren't live doing the fundraiser as it stands. You can still do what All Elite did if you missed it, or you think actually, you know, I know somebody who could have, you know, wanted to donate. I'm not sure where to send it. The pot is still open, and actually the new goal that we unlocked, because we got to one stage, is actually 20k. And then 95% there, at 18,906. So yeah, please do go onto there if you want to donate. Then you can. Then you obviously can. Right there, it's pinned in the chat. It's in the chat. There you go. You can click that, and I'll take you straight to it. If you missed it yesterday and you'd like to donate now, or you know some people, you're like, oh, I know that guy or that girl that I should send it to. They said, if you know anywhere, let me know. Send them that. Send them that. There you go. Okay. Well, actually, to be fair, before we go into, you know, what's going on, I do feel tired. Tired, you know, because I've been up long and stuff like that. But on a normal day, I don't. And the reason why I don't.
Oh, nice. You're doing it.
You're doing it.
No, carry on. Why don't you usually?
Well, there's things that can help aid you in your sleep. I'm only tired because I've stayed up really late. But if you're not staying up really late and you are living a healthy lifestyle and you want just that little extra bit of push with things like sleep and your weight, here's how. Flex Roll VT. Today's video. Oh, pressed it, Owen. I pressed it.
Oh, you pressed it. I pressed it at the same time.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, this is usually Flex. This is my one job. This is my This is my only thing. Don't take it away from me. Don't take it away from me. Roll VT.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA, and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings, and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover, and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own, Owen, lost over 100 pounds in 10 months, and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds, and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds, and Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Do you want to do this bit as well? Well, no, this is your segment today.
No, I want to hand back to the rightful.
I don't have the bottles, but I can.
I got them. I can do that bit. I can go back to my job.
Yeah. You can scan the QR code right there. You can save up to 70% off. You can get your Optimum Day. which is good for you. He forgot for your, which is good for your weight loss.
I'm
goals.
disorientated. I no sleep.
Yes, you can get your. Well, speaking of sleep, you can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep. Yes, you just see a Jamaican flag in the background. It's a brand new and improved formula. You can get them individually or combined, stack them however, whatever way you want. As always, all the information is in the video description below, and it's pinned in the chat. Yes. I'll tell you what, it's flustered me. It's flustered me, that flex. You know what I mean? It's flustered me. And I actually got sleep. Can you believe it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Antoine Semenyo. This is quite interesting. Of course, the story came out yesterday from David Ornstein saying that Bournemouth were reluctantly accepting they may be powerless to prevent Antoine Semenyo from leaving the club as soon as January, even though their desire is to retain him till the end of the season. Of course, he was coveted by clubs including Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur last summer, but he signed a new contract in July that runs until June 2030, and he's enjoyed another impressive campaign so far. But of course, whenever they sign these new contracts, a bit like Matheus Cunha, when he signed a new contract at Wolves last season, there were always these clauses. Now, to keep him at the Vitality Stadium, which obviously appears to pay dividends for Bournemouth this season, he's done very, very well. In the summer, these clubs, including Manchester United, were told, look, we're looking around sort of £70 million, which, of course, put Manchester United off. But now there is this release clause. It's set at £65 million. It's actually 60 plus 5, so it's 60 fixed, 5 in add-ons, but it must be activated by a certain date, which would give Bournemouth a couple of weeks to replace their best player in the team. Of course, he has been recently linked to Liverpool, Manchester City, Spurs, in addition to Manchester United. But the question is anyone going to activate that release clause? It might even be the best thing for Bournemouth to be activated now, because in the summer, it goes even lower. It could go down to possibly a little bit above £50 million. So it would be a big blow. But interestingly, this is where Manchester United comes into it, because it's also been reported this morning from the Telegraph that, again, this is a 60 plus £5 million. It's going to be dropping in the summer. It's not going to be below £50 million. So what? You get into this weird territory of it's not 65, but it's higher than 50. So what's that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 60? 55, I don't know. But interestingly, and actually, Flex pointed this out before we went live, depending on how you read this, not necessarily that maybe Bournemouth rejected a offer from Manchester United, but in the article from the Telegraph, it says Antoine Semenyo rejected £50 million moves to Spurs and Manchester United, and instead agreed to sign this new contract with this release clause that's now in there. And there were, thinking about it, Flex, there were these kind of rumors in the summer. You remember that story? And it kind of got poo-pooed a bit at the time that, you know, Man United had sort of maybe agreed a fee with Bournemouth, or they were, you know, open to agreeing a fee. And then, you know, it was something like, oh, Semenyo didn't get offered the same amount that Brian Mbeumo or Cunha were going to get offered, so he turned it down. And we at the time said, oh, I don't know about that. You know, I'm not sure about that. And also, should he be getting the same amount as Cunha and Mbeumo anyway? But what the Telegraph is saying there is true, then maybe there is a bit of weight to that story where maybe Man United did kind of lowball him a little bit on the wages, and he went, oh, no, all right, well, I'll stick around at Bournemouth. And a bit like Cunha, he's not really sticking around at Bournemouth, is he? Because he is going to leave. You know, he's got this release clause, and it was put in there for a reason. So the question is, do Manchester United go back in for £65 million in the winter? Do they take a risk and go, oh, we think we can wait until the summer, even though a bunch of Premier League clubs are going to be interested in him? And then we kind of touched on this last night during last night's stream. If we were to go in for him, where does he even fit? You know, where does he fit into the system? Clearly, Ruben's got an idea, because Man United were going in for him in the first place. In the summer.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that obviously we're convincing ourselves. I've done it as well. I'm saying you kind of just go to left wing back because you think, well, we've got Cunha in left 10, so he's the starter. That's that big outlay, big investment.
Where does he play for Bournemouth? Is it left or right wing?
He plays on the left wing. Plays on the left wing mostly. He can play like maybe off the striker as well. Finds himself in them positions, but he's a winger. He's a left or right winger, that's for sure.
Because I went on Transfer Market. It says attack right winger. Where does he play? Let's have a look. Bournemouth. Their last fixtures. Bournemouth FC.
Right and left, definitely.
The last game, the one where they got pumped by Aston Villa. and he was on. I think that's is that right wing, right? I mean, either or,
He's a
I
winger.
suppose it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Either way, he's a winger. Like, he is a thoroughbred winger, and rightly so. That's where he should be playing. In our system, the most you would want to convert him really is from like what we've done with Mbumo. He's a winger by trade, but you make him, you put him inside these inside 10 positions. And some people have said it, it's kind of criminal asking a player of that quality to be like, get further away from the goal, get back here. But we've just done it with Ahmad. We've just done it with Ahmad to the point where we went and bought Mbumo for that position, demoted in inverted commas with how we're discussing the wing back position.
Yeah.
Demoted and disrespected Ahmad to right wing back. And then we're sort of going, Ahmad's starting to understand this position, actually. And they're deadly on that right-hand side. Because actually, the way we play, or the way we want to be playing when we are on the front foot, is actually, you've got your right wing back when you've got the ball, who is another winger. And then you've got just tucked into the inside channel, someone like Mbuma, and they're swapping over, they're causing all sorts of problems. Now you go, why can't we have that on the left-hand side? Why can't we have Anton Semenyo? Because he looks like you've seen him. He possesses probably the running power over Cunha. Cunha's probably like a straight 10. That's his position, inside forward. That's great. Semenyo is a marauding winger who can get up and down, great power. And you think he could probably be like the Ahmad. So it's probably a little bit it's selfish from our point of view, because the conversation with the player and his development is, you are one of the top wingers in the league. He is. He's one of the top wingers in the league. Is he up for that? Is that hurting him?
What
and that's
wants.
what you got to talk about. Yeah, and that's where you got to talk about the plan, the coaching, the strategy. If you do get him and something happened to Ruben, remember what I said? Just sign good players. Just sign good players. If they're adaptable players,
different. Yeah.
It could be different. So I get what people are saying in the chat. I've seen some people saying, listen, I think we need to get the right guys in the right places. But going and buying ready-made actual wing backs, it's harder to do. It's harder to do. There's not.
What is it? Is it harder to do? I mean, if you're spending £65 million, you can get a bloody good wing back, a proper one for £65 million.
Yeah, I suppose. Do they want to come here? They've got to look at the pool of players. What's the wing back guys in the world? So what? DeMarco.
I'm looking
Theo
at the guy
Hernandez.
from the guy from Palace. Was it Munoz? Is that his name?
Munoz. Yeah, that's it. But then people were saying that he don't really play a left wing back, and he's nearly 30. I didn't even know that. People were saying, I don't know, 30,
he was international duty. He was like a dreamer playing for a club. Playing for a club like Manchester United. And you can get him not for £65 million. You get him for a fraction of that price. You know what I mean? So,
Dumfries, he's on the other side. Like this, who's the scholars? I need you. Who's the guys out there that's like left wing back through and through, where you go, you could go and get that guy without doing an attacking convert job?
Do we run the risk, Kia, of sort of seeing these players like Semenyo, and even to an extent, even we've kind of have done it with Ahmad, haven't we? Of sort of going, we're trying to get names into the team, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're trying to get names in. We're trying to get, are they the best for the system that we're playing, or are we really just looking at actually sort of the best players in the Premier League and going, we can kind of shoehorn them in? Yeah, can we shoehorn them into our system? You know what I mean? As opposed to actually going out and getting a left wing back.
What if we're looking at it different? What if we're looking at it wrong? What if it's like, I want us to have the top attack. I want us to be great. So here's what we're doing. Yeah, we are going to sell Xerxes and, this, that, and the other. We've got Mount, Cobby. We don't know what's going on there. We're getting Anton Semenyo. He's an attacker. Cunha, you're in and out there. You're fighting. Maybe we're looking at it wrong.
If it was him, if it was to be another sort of 10, wide 10, that thing, then I'd be like, all right, cool, I can get that. And that's where I do go, well, maybe that is where the interest then was there in the summer, because you can't, clearly, as the reports are saying, you can't deny that there was interest from Manchester United. So clearly, Jason Wilcox, Ruben Amorim, all of them. And I believe, again, those reports from a few months ago were sort of saying Jason Wilcox was a big driver in going after Semenyo. He was a big fan of him. So maybe the idea is that, well, no, the plan was to bring him in. I don't know if we were going to sign 3 10s in the summer or 3 people that could play that position, but maybe that was the idea of, no, it's going to be Mbumo, and when Mbumo, it's going to be Mbumo, Cunha, and Semenyo, and we're going to have options in those positions. Again, then I would have the worry about, are we doing, like Arsenal under Arsene Wenger back in the day, for whatever reason, they just kept signing midfielders over and over and over again. Every window, they'd be like, oh, we're going to sign a midfielder. And you go, do you really need a midfielder in this window? So I don't know. I'm still a bit, I'm not confused by obviously the quality. I think he's a really good player, and he's played really well for Bournemouth, particularly in big games. Feels like every time they're like televised, he has a good game. I mean, remember at the start of the season against Liverpool, where he obviously scored that goal at Anfield, and obviously he had the incident off the with the people in the crowd as well, and he still just shrugged it off, properly, handled it the best way possible. So I think he's a top player, and I think he's got a really good character and personality as well. But I do just look at our team, our squad, and I go, okay, what's the plan then? What's the idea there? Is it just, well, he's just going to be an attacking player like you said, and he's going to be competing, and hopefully next season we're in Europe and we just need more options there? Or is it, again, we're trying to sort of get players in and convert them and shoehorn them? And then if we're doing that, you would then just go, well, shouldn't you just go out and buy someone that's their position anyway?
Well, we're in that in between. Let me do the super chats actually. Show says, don't want Semenyo if we're going to put him left wing back. Not fair on the player. We need to stop putting square pegs in round holes. Let him flourish elsewhere. And Aminor says, how does Semenyo as a forward fit into our system? We just discussed that. He'd probably be a left 10 or right 10. The Web Fear says, please don't get rejected twice. Let him do his thing elsewhere. And Aminor also says, we sold an effing left wing back to Real Madrid. Yes, Alvaro Carreras. Yeah, 100%. I think I can see what people's vibe is here. And I get it. I do get it, because you don't want to make mistakes in the past. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to put square pegs in round holes. You want to build this squad properly. I think with the squad, which you just touched on, we're in a weird place whereby, like you said, which bit are we at? We're kind of at the bit where we're trying to build like the starting 11 outright, like lock it down. You know what I mean? So at wing back is obviously an issue. So we're looking at that area and going, Dallo and Dorgu is not really where we want to be at. And actually, even Sho said, I put it in a normal regular chat. He's like, don't know why people are acting like Ahmad's like got the wing back thing nailed down. He's doing a job at best, sort of thing, as if to suggest even this Ahmad at right wing back thing is still an ongoing trial. He's still trying to get used to it.
If you asked a non-Man United fan, actually a lot of Man United fans, if you just said, Ahmad, what's Ahmad's position? Right, whatever. I think but the immediate reaction wouldn't be, he's a right wing back. They wouldn't say that. They'd be like, no, he's a winger,
when they do would answer that, they would also say to us, without really watching us week in, week out, they're like, and Ahmad, he probably needs to play further forward, nearer the goal, because we were doing that at the start. We were like, don't know though, man, we just need Ahmad near the goal. This right wing back thing is a bit far away. But then Mbumo's basically changed it all, because Mbumo's come in and is so good. You're like, well, first of all, he has to play there. Obviously, the other day he played left. What we saw, again, it's hard. What we saw the other day was adaptation anyway. We saw what it looked like with Ahmad and Mbumo, left and right 10 respectively. Okay, it was a bit too defensive at the wing-back position, because you bring in Mazraoui, who was a bit Mazraoui more safe and stuff. So you go, right, so maybe those two can be the right 10s. There's your two really good options. Then you go and get two right wing backs, and we still don't know how they're going to construct this. It's true. Maybe Ahmad's seen as just the best one to do that for now. Maybe the long-term project is to go and get two other good attacking right wing backs, and Ahmad goes back to competing with Cunha and Mbumo and stuff. And so it is hard, because we are in a new phase of Ineos / Amarim, where what they really want to do, we're just only finding out now. We saw the intent in the last window. What's it going to look like in January / the summer? And that's why it's hard to commit to either thing. So overall, we probably won't get Semenyo and put him left wing. But then, I don't think we will do that. But
like I said, but the problem is that we were going from. So clearly there was a plan.
True.
And there maybe
but where
still
we
is
was
a
that
plan.
Before Cunha? No, because we got Cunha early out the blocks, isn't it? Release
Yeah,
clause.
exactly. And clearly they've wanted to get Brian Mbumo for a long time. So that's why I sort of say, and by all accounts, seemingly that's why it kind of fell apart a little bit, was, well, according to one report anyway, was because maybe we weren't offering the wages we were offering Cunha and Mbumo. So that's why I sort of go, there's something in it, but I'm just not sure what.
I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure what. I mean, look, Mbumo's going to AFCON. Semenyo plays for Ghana, but they're not going to AFCON, so they don't have to worry about that in January, do they? So I don't know. I don't know.
The Web Fear says the wingback we should have is killing it at Real Madrid. It is one of Eric Ten Hag's crimes that doesn't get talked about enough. I'm not going to lie. I think it does get talked about quite a bit, Web Fear, to be fair.
Every time he plays.
Every time he plays, every time he puts the ball in the top corner in the stanchion. You know, it kind of does. But I hear you. It didn't get talked about as much until he started doing the madness at Real Madrid, starting game in, game out, which is crazy, isn't it? Imagine you had him.
Well, even when he was at Benfica, I suppose it was.
Yeah, he was doing really well then.
He was doing, impressive performances in the Champions League and what.
Well, the kid didn't want to come back to us as well, by the way. He went,
well, yeah, why would
I want to go Real Madrid.
Exactly.
I want to go back there.
Why would you? I'll put a poll in the chat and say, Semenyo, 65 million, would you do it? That's on YouTube, because this morning, like we were last night, we are streaming not only on United View on YouTube, we are streaming also on our Instagram page at United View TV. I can see people over there joining. Yep. MSG_87 says, love your channel, boys. Keep it up. Repping in Australia, watching live. Chan Singh says, Semenyo doesn't fit the style. So yeah, we're cross-platform now, Fleck. Yeah, we're cross-platform. Look at us go. We're always growing.
I love it. View. This is what we want to see. I can see us live there.
Yeah.
We got to work on the dimensions.
Actually, we'll work on the dimensions. First time. But we'll get, we'll get there. We'll get there with it. We'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, share video. There you go. Let me just pop that onto my. Oh no, but I can only share it in group chats. I can't share it to my story.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying.
Yeah, shout out Fraser D on Instagram. Yeah. He says, good show, boys. So yeah, that's good. But I'm sure they'll keep changing it as it keeps developing. The guys at Streamer are doing great stuff actually for what you used to be able to do versus now is incredible.
Yeah, loads, yeah.
I will say that. Sorry, actually, it was all elite. Was it all elite? It was quite. He said, if Cunha, it's interesting. If Cunha's numbers don't begin to improve, we're going to have to start having uncomfortable chats. Semenyo may not be a bad shout at that point. See, so it could be about competition basis.
Are people starting to get a bit, twingy with Matheus Cunha at the moment? Are we falling down that trap a little bit again? You know what I mean? Yeah, but I suppose it's a bit different to say like a Sesko or whatever, because with Cunha, it's kind of the same as Mbumo, isn't it? It was like, Premier League proven, mid-20s. There's not a lot of time for, this, you take a time to adapt. Well, the adaptation period's there. But some games he has played well without putting numbers on the board, hasn't he? That's the difficult thing with him. It's not like Brian Mbumo, where Mbumo's put numbers on the board. But Mbumo's a lot more consistent than Cunha, isn't he? You know what we say with Mbumo, that even if Mbumo has a bad game, his level won't come down that much. You know what I mean? His level is always at a certain point, and if it's a bad game, it comes down a little bit. If it's a good game, skyrockets. Cunha's is a bit more. His sort of range to go up and down in terms of performance level is much bigger than that, and I think you're not necessarily sure what you're going to get. But with numbers, we have to be a bit careful with focusing solely on numbers, don't you? Because it's sort of like, okay, what are you contributing to the team? Are you contributing to, certain moves, or are you several passes before the pass? And also his problem, I suppose, with Cunha to his defense is, unlike Brian Mbumo, who has largely consistently played in the same spot every single game, Matheus Cunha hasn't had that luxury, has he? He's some games false 9, some games left 10, out of an injury, then on the bench, Mason Mount comes in. So I suppose maybe his pushback might be, well, I haven't had the same sort of clear run, same position, same role every single game as maybe, say, Brian Mbumo has. But maybe I'm defending him a bit too much there.
No, look, you're right. I think when we talk about the players that are ready-made, right age, experienced. I think we do have to be a bit more critical, hold them to higher standards. You know, the bedding in period's not the same. Yes, they have to adapt because they're coming from one team to another, different style, different manager, different pressures, different demands. I get that. And I'm not saying we're at that point yet where we start going, tell you what, Cunha, mate, what are you doing, by the way? Where have you been? It's not that. But I think you do have to look at it. But you also have to look at the profile of players. Show says it there. Bumo is a finishing attacker, so a team doesn't need much possession for him to be effective. Cunha is a playmaker. He needs to be in a high possession team. There are different types of things. Like Cunha is that. He's like a striker, right? Shoot on sight. I'm taking lots of shots. I get lots of goals. But we've seen Cunha get 14 last year. And I think maybe 12 or 13 the year before that. Something along the same sort of lines. So we know he can do it. He's putting the numbers down. So we can't on one bit let him put the numbers down twice in a row and be like, yeah, but here he needs this, or oh, he need, you know, no, it costs 62.5 million. You know the league. You know, we are expecting big things. But I'm not worried yet. I'm like, nah, he's doing all right. He's had a couple of games where, you know, the Spurs game in particular, he wasn't very good in that game.
Yeah,
tried to do too much.
Don't take 4 or 5 extra touches. Just get
do
out
you know
your
what?
feet.
Actually, my thing actually is we can do it a bit as fans, but I don't want him to. It's all good saying the Maverick, Cantona. Yeah, you know, I've seen, obviously, we've done the videos behind the scenes because he's knitting the dressing room together, so he's great. We also need to remind him, I say we can't do it. It has to be Amorim, the coaching staff. Just remind him that, like, you don't have to be the epicenter of everything in the team, though. Like, I know we want you to be the. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that, bro. We got a lot of guys.
You're not the big fish in a small pond anymore. You're a regular sized fish in a big ocean. You know what I mean?
Saying, who's saying Cantona laughing? And when I say that, it's like because I've seen that in the media saying he's got that Maverick type. Give me the ball, you know, this, that, and the other. And even using the word like Maverick, if you're not careful with how we push that, it can go to the player. And I don't mean it in a bad way where he thinks he's too good. He don't want to talk to anyone. But I mean in terms of like, you have to take this burden. You have to be the guy. Everything's got to go through you. And you start trying too hard to be that. You know what I mean? You don't have to. Yeah, Jason Wilcox even said it.
I don't even think it goes on to the player, like in terms of, oh, he thinks that. I think that then that can go to the fans. The fans are then expecting Eric Cantona from, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, he's
don't
not,
do that.
He's not that.
Don't do that. And it doesn't help because Wilcox was saying that. He was like, yeah, you know, Cantona. And we're not probably helping ourselves by doing that because there's never going to be another Eric. And I know we're looking for a guy we can cling on. And he is doing that. You speak to people behind the scenes. He is brilliant in the dressing room. You can see it. You can feel it. But Amorim's also got a big job, which is the uncomfortable job that when there's games like Spurs and you're holding on to that ball too long, mate, he used to be getting into him. Listen, don't let that Eric Cantona shit go to your head, bro. Don't let that Maverick stuff. Come on, release the ball first time. One touch, two touch.
Also just you know, be your own man. Don't be Eric Cantona. Be Mateus Cunha kind of thing. I think also though the thing that he probably does suffer with. We're talking earlier on about, you know, the wing back situation. Fair to say is that our right hand side much stronger side than the left hand side. You know that when we're talking about Mbumo, Ahmad, you're talking about attacker threat synergy there. Left hand side, which is where Cunha doesn't always play, by the way, because sometimes he's a false nine. If he is in that left hand spot, which would be his preferred spot, you got Dallo behind you sometimes, Dorgu. You know, you're really going to have that kind of synergy in there. So it is. I think it's maybe a bit more of a difficult task than, say, Brian Mbumo in the right 10. But also, I feel like I don't know if he knows necessarily what his role actually properly is at this point. I don't think we actually know as the fans. Like, okay, we already know what Brian Mbumo is doing, what he's gonna do. Like you said, that there was the stat. I don't know if we've still got it here in the back end that I took from TNT. I think it's probably gone. Yeah, we deleted it. But when he made all of the forward runs, you know, he's top in the league for making forward runs, always making line breaking runs. Cunha, when I think we're still not sure. You know what I mean? We're still not sure what he's doing. And that left hand side, that is much less secure, isn't it? Right hand side, we know more often than not it's going to be Mbumo. Most often than not, it should be Ahmad behind him. So when it is like you know, Mazraoui or Dalot, like, what the bloody hell's going on there? Left-hand side, you don't know. Like, you don't know. Is it going to be Cunha? Is it going to be Dorgu? Is it going to be Dalot? Now that Leach is coming back, what's going to happen with the left centre-back? You know, it's a little less secure. And I feel like that not being settled doesn't help as well. But also, like you said, those individual things, like against Spurs, when you're going, just release it. You know what I mean? Don't play hero ball all the time. When we're on the transition, when we're on the counter, 2 free touches, get it out. You don't have to. You don't. You like you said, you're not the main guy that you were at Wolves anymore. You know, that Wolves team last season, focal point of that team. Everything runs through him. Through at points last season, you know, he's dragging them through games, getting points on his own because he is this maverick. At United, you're not that character. You know, I mean, that's not your role in this team. But I suppose the pushback might be, well, okay, what is the role in this team? Because some days it's left 10, some days it's false 9, some days it's on the bench. So I suppose it's difficult to nail that down. But like you said earlier on, but I'm not concerned about that. Yeah, I'm not concerned about that because I do think that will come. I think that will come. I think it probably just doesn't help also as well that you're getting compared with Mbeumo, who has just hit the ground running, player of the month, scoring goals.
It's exactly,
you know.
Exactly that. And I'm not concerned, but it is something to think about. Of Amram will be aware of it. Either we know he's an astute manager. We don't just tell him not to suck eggs. Like he'll know. But he has to be managed. He has to be managed, Cunha, because if you can't let him go off on a tangent thinking those things. You know, that Spurs performance needs to be different. Wasn't
disciplined enough, yeah.
Not disciplined enough, trying to do too much, trying to hold on to the ball. It was almost to try and say, I am him. Everybody know I'm him. That's the type of feeling I got in the stadium, watching him take extra touches. And there's been other games where he hasn't been like that. Look how he was against Liverpool. Look how he was against Arsenal.
Brilliant. Yeah.
You know, look how he was against Brighton. Absolutely brilliant. So this isn't an isolated incident that you just go, right, I don't want to see too much of that. Let's get that in the bud now. We've got over 600 people watching. Let's drop a like on the video. Big up to everybody. Let me see. We're at 152 likes. So let's get to 250. Let's get to 250 people. That would be great. Red Baron says, why are Liverpool signings getting protection flex? Well, I'll tell you why. One, because it just ain't Man United. So you're the darlings. 2, because they're Premier League, they just won the league. If they were in a team that's, hadn't won anything in ages and this, that, and the other would be different. And 3, it's just the media. The media ain't trying to get involved as much and do the most with our players. Like I talk about the unwritten thing you sign as a United player. You sign 2 contracts, mate. You sign the real one in real life. That's about your wages and your add-ons and your appearance fees and your bonuses. And you sign the other one, the one that says you're going to get unfairly treated, harshly criticized. The other players for different clubs are going to get less highlights than you. You know what I mean? When they're playing worse than you, all of that comes with playing for Man United. It's rubbish.
I saw that this morning, like TNT. I saw they posted something, and it said Florian Wirtz delivered 2 assists as Germany qualified for the 2026 World Cup, and I was just like, stop the Wirtz prop, man! Like anything to just try and distract that he's not doing it at Liverpool. It's Germany, brilliant for Germany. Oh God! And they even did a little screen grab of the sofa score thing, 9.3 sofa score rating. I was like, show his sofa score rating for Liverpool this season. Show those ones. Doing that prop. Are you talking about any United players of how well they've done on international duty or anything like that? No, of course not. Let's not do that. No.
I was looking for that. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. That's what they do, man. They're always trying a new way to spin.
Spin.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I was looking for that in the hours after that game because I wanted to see it. The Hungary versus Ireland highlights on YouTube now to enjoy the Sabos line, Kirkes tears. Brilliant. He was giving it all that, Kirkes, weren't he? Even AGT, because he's got Irish family. So I've anything that happens to Liverpool players, I just at AGT and say, hold that. But this one was different because he was like, yeah, I like Ireland. That's his country. So he was like, yeah, Dom can hold that this time. So shout out AGT. Even he's in on this one. Yeah, brilliant. And what a story, by the way. And when I was watching like the Irish media, their commentary, like how the limbs and that even the commentators that couldn't, you know what I mean? Just you lose all professionalism. Like it's just crazy. unbelievable. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bruno
And
did
that
get a
is-
hat trick, but I didn't realize they won 9-0 though, 9-1.
Wow.
But he got a hat trick.
But that is with the island thing. I did see people talking about this, and it is true. And I hold myself accountable. There's sometimes, and maybe it's a bit of a, being English, and we don't really care that much about international football till it gets to the big tournaments or whatever. And we just go, oh, international break, who cares? But when you do see stuff like that with the island and, like I said, the limbs, whatever, that is what international break is kind of all about, isn't it? Of like, those kind of moments. We do kind of scoff and we do kind of roll our eyes. And maybe there still does need to be a thing, I think, with international friendlies and all that kind of stuff, because some of the international breaks are just so pointless and so just not needed. But you see those kind of scenes and those kinds of celebrations and stuff like that, and you do kind of go, well, that is what international football is all about, and what it should be. And that is when you can kind of enjoy international breaks as much as we don't like them from a club point of view. But I suppose it's probably we're just a bit snobbish because of England. We always find qualifying and friendlies boring, don't we?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's just what we do until we get there. But the stories are being written.
And tonight's the big one, Flex. Your background says that tonight's the big one. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm quite literally.
Hold on, wait a minute, Flex.
Yeah,
man. It is definitely 1 a.m. Yeah, tomorrow 1 a.m.
1 a.m. 1 a.m.
National Stadium is
sold
out.
Do you have another late night in you?
I'm gonna have to, man. I have to, bro. Got to see it through. What am I doing tomorrow? What day is it? Wednesday. If I do it, I'm not on the morning show tomorrow. That's got to be the deal.
That's fair.
Nah, you say that. Oh, they should with what's going on. See, Curaçao top of the group with 11 points. Jamaica on 10. Do
they have any well-known players, Curaçao?
No, someone said to me that Thingy's in their team. Chong.
Oh,
but he's played for. Yeah, is he there? I don't know if he is.
Oh, they beat Bermuda 7-0 in their last game.
Yeah, but Bermuda are obviously they're rock bottom. Lost all 5. Bermuda are terrible. They beat us 2-0 as well.
Do I recognise any names on there?
Don't know if you will.
No, but I'm not a football scholar, so there might be some names.
Yeah. It's that loss we took to them in their place. Ridiculous. 2-0. Should never have lost that.
Well, like Yardi said yesterday, he said, look, if the Jamaica don't qualify, he'll have to book his travel now because he won't be able to get out of that stadium otherwise.
I'm telling you, Steve McLaren will be big. You think the Nigerians are bad? Yeah. I remember when, well, not the Nigerians, it was someone at AFCON. Someone put it in the chat. Was it when Cameroon got knocked out? Remember I think it was Nigeria actually. Might have been the last AFCON, something, when the media and they stopped the bus leaving. They stopped, all the journalists were in front demanding answers. Wouldn't let them leave, bro. Wouldn't let them leave.
Ironically, the stadium, they'll seal it up. You won't be able to leave.
Yeah,
Seal it up.
you can't leave, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think the Nigerian press are bad? Jamaica not qualified for this thing here. Tag says Jamaica is making it way better than Niger. Let's just, no shade. Let's just chill, man. We've got a job to do. Was it Ghana? Is it the Ghanaians? Yeah. They stopped that team bus, couldn't get out. There was a barricade of things of journalists saying, "Listen, you ain't going anywhere until you answer all these questions." Yeah. It was crazy. Shout out Larry and Merrens there saying it was Ghana. Crazy. I don't think
imagine that happened with like England. Imagine that happened with England. Thomas Tuchel does a press conference or whatever. And they go, right, thank you very much. He goes, no, you're not leaving.
Yeah, Henry Winter and all that. Like, no. Simon Peach and Simon Stone and all them, man.
Yeah,
who cover England.
More questions.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I'll probably do something like this on the Football Flex.
The Craig Hope
this
thing.
Situation. I only just took a little look to see.
It's a strange obsession.
You hear his name. Could you see his name and you just think, I don't know, the internet might just be interneting, but I just see the media doing the thing on Jude.
But then you go on his feed.
You go on his thing and I'm going, nah, whatever the license, the license that you get to be a journal, you get a whatever, revoke it.
Yeah.
You're not doing it because you're not doing that. You revoke it, bro.
It's a weird obsession,
you're not
isn't it?
You're not practicing that profession. You're not.
Mm.
You're on some hate tribe thing. You're just whatever you're doing. You're on some hate tribe. And big up to Righty. He put something out as well. Big up to Matt Scott as well. I saw him on TalkSport.
Yeah.
He just put something big up. Like, I'm gonna have to do a video on it. It's actually nasty work. Like so nasty. Like all of a sudden, there's this new thing that Jude is this bad egg who's terrible in the dressing room, and he only thinks he's terrible for the team, and you can't have him in your team. What?
Yeah, I saw Olivia. She was on TalkSport as well. She was saying the same thing, going like, you can't basically say things that didn't happen, particularly when there's video proof that it didn't happen as well. Like, I think he says like Bellingham outstretched his arms and did this and that, and then you watch it back and go, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
no, it didn't. And it's this. And the worst thing is, every time we are gearing up to a major tournament, it's the same. They always pick a player that they're like, right, this is the one that we're going to go after in the build up to the tournament. Before it's been like Raheem Sterling. Remember Raheem Sterling? That criticism he get for a tattoo.
And it was he shouldn't be. And it was and then it was he shouldn't be starting. Where's Jack Grealish? We need to be starting him. Just like meanwhile, flipping Sterling's putting England on his back, getting them through qualifying.
Yeah. There was in the build up to the last Euros, remember that, where there was like a friendly and they started going after Cobby for randomly, Cobby over, and you go like, what? They've gone after Bukayo Saka, and they just try and again do these weird narratives, and particularly again about stuff that just didn't happen. I mean, I get it if he did have a go at Thomas Tuchel like when he got subbed, but he didn't.
But he didn't. He didn't do it.
He didn't do that.
He dapped up. Because I didn't watch the game, but I saw the bits in question.
I saw the clip.
What everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
He dapped up Morgan Rogers. You know what I mean? Bigged him up.
Yeah.
And I think he shook Thomas Tuchel's hand as well. So fucking what if he sat there afterwards going like this? You're choosing to make something of that. If you're an elite player, you don't want to come off the pitch at any point. I play for Real Madrid. I've won the Champions League. I've been La Liga's top scorer. I am him. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've said it loads of times, yeah? In this country or in Britain, we have this thing that we don't like people to show confidence and strength and chest. And when we do, when we see it, we diminish it. We diminish it all the time. We do it all the time. Well, because some people saying underbelly thing, this, that, and the other. There are definitely shades of that. But also, they did it to Beckham. They did it to Root. Like they do it to people. But then when it's like say Jack the lad getting drunk, falling out of the casino, you know what I mean? Whatever, it's a Grealish thing. He's celebrated. Where's Jordan? What's his name? Jordan Pickford at the darts. I remember it years ago.
Yeah.
And he was on top. He was standing on top of the darts, giving it all of this, whatever. It was
Madison,
training.
Madison.
Yeah. Like, bro, there's all these darlings, and what we have to do. Even if you're going, you feel uncomfortable, you're like, don't make it a race thing. I don't want to. Just forget all that. They're vilifying one guy, bro.
Yeah,
like
I said,
one
they
guy.
did it with
one guy
Beckham,
with real life.
Rooney.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
They do,
and they're doing it
time.
to a guy. You know what the worst thing is, Owen? They're doing it to a guy that's qualified.
This is what I was just about to say. I was just about to say as well. This is why you have to always be careful with the media in general, because England's qualifying campaign, they have won every game and they have not conceded a goal. Now, you would think that itself is the story to run with. You know, every game you've won and you haven't conceded a goal throughout the qualification campaign. You go into the World Cup and you're going in there in good form. They're not talking about that. They're talking about Jude Bellingham, maybe, he's not happy with Thomas Tuchel, or, about these players playing in the team. And you sort of go like, why are you choosing to focus on that? Is like the equivalent of Man United being top of the Premier League. We've won every game and not conceded a goal right now. And them going, yeah, but
when Mbeumo came off.
Yeah, and Mbeumo come off. You're focusing on that. You're focusing on that,
And that's the big problem. Because also it's not that these made up problems, like you said, are coinciding with we can't find a balance in the team's losing, no one's doing it. Like you're so everything's good. So you have to find something. And they're making it Jude Bellingham. The one guy who, like I say, plays for the team with the biggest pressure in the world on his shoulders every game. Then some people are saying, but it's La Liga, it's easy. Or some people say, mate, you draw to Getafe, you could get sacked in that club. Do you know what I mean?
He stopped just going out at the Euros with his last minute overhead kick. You know what I mean?
Was that Slovakia game?
Yeah, it would have been. I think it was Slovakia, wasn't it?
Yeah,
with his overhead
Gareth
kick,
Southgate
you
might
know?
not have his knighthood if it wasn't for flipping Jude Bellingham, mate.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
have it right.
exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Honestly,
So
man, it's just pathetic.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I probably
Absolutely
will do
ridiculous.
something on that because I forgot about that. I didn't forget, but
Yeah,
I've just been obviously tired and doing this job. I've been talking about it a
yeah,
bit on Talksport, but I'm going to address that properly because it's bullshit. It's absolutely
yeah.
bullshit what's going on. And Jude does need protecting. It's the different argument if you're like, do you know what? I'll tell you what though, Jude. Morgan Rogers in the 10. He's doing well. I
If
don't
he
know if he
did
should
it,
start,
then it would be one thing, but he didn't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
He didn't.
Exactly.
And I get Bellingham. He can rub people the wrong way in the sense of sometimes he can be a bit involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes stuff that he does and says, you go, it's a bit like. It used to be sometimes people had this issue of Anthony Joshua in the boxing where you sort of go, everything feels a bit too media savvy. You know what I mean? Everything feels a bit too PR.
But that's the thing, Owen. They didn't like him then. They didn't like him when he was the golden boy with the perfect
you know
interviews.
What I mean?
Look how well this kid's been raised.
Exactly.
Perfect parents. It's so perfect.
But the funny thing is with it is then when they do something different and they get real about it, you know what I mean? Or they do show a bit of like Sir Anthony Joshua, bad loser, then it's, oh, fuck it, I knew it. See, I told you. And you sort of go, well, you can't have it both ways, though, can you? So they're either too good or they're too bad, you know?
100%.
It's like,
pathetic. They can't be anything. Red Brown says they focused on Manu, remember, as well. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. It was ridiculous.
It's total bullshit. J. Rose says it's called tall poppy syndrome, where we drag people down when they get too successful. You can be successful, but only so much. Then we got to humble you. Exactly. The UK has always had a bad case of the poppy syndrome. 100%. 100%. It starts from like British people is like, you know, oh, look at him with his Rolls Royce flash git. Look at him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't like flash. We don't like, if this was in America, you know, look at their athletes.
I'll say that. I don't even know if it's a UK thing. I think it's just a weird human nature thing for that. Like you said, everyone loves the underdog. Everyone loves the come up. Everyone likes to see people rise to success. But then when it's sustained success, then bitterness comes in. And actually it's like, well, I'm invested here. So I've seen them on the way up. Now I want to see them on the way down. You know what I mean? And it's just, and I think and really it's probably just stems from a place of, like I said, bitterness, jealousy, because, you associate yourself, or you like to see the rise because you believe that you could maybe make the same rise. And then when they're at the top and you realize you can't make the same rise, then it's like, right, take them down.
If Jude didn't have time for everyone, you know, the man always signing autographs and, you know, giving fans time because he's a superstar and that. If he didn't do that and was some arrogant prick here that just, you know, put up afterwards, I'm on the phone, not doing that, they'd have something to say. They'd have something to say about that. Then it's too friendly. He just wants the limelight, just wants to make it all about himself. The guy can't win. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Although, because even things it's not, you can't really control. So, for instance, when the World Cup does come on, let's say Bellingham, he'll probably be, you know, front and center on a lot of advertising campaigns or whatever. And then people are like, oh, sick of seeing him on all of these campaigns. Exactly. You know what I mean? And you got to go, well, it's not his fault. You know what I mean? If Lucas wants to do a campaign with him, what are we going to do?
Foolishness.
You know?
Load of foolishness. Really quickly, actually, because we forgot, the Sesko injury length.
Yes, so we found out. Yeah, we found out yesterday. For the record, Marcel still refused to apologise. He actually ended up blaming
he's being wrong and he's doing it on purpose. No way.
He blamed the doctors. He blamed the doctors in the end. But it came out yesterday that Sesko is set to be sidelined for around a month with this knee injury. Of course, he wasn't available during this international break for Slovenia because of the injury he suffered against Spurs. They haven't said specifically what the knee injury is, but he's going to be out for around a month. They say that the timescale of the absence is dependent on his rehabilitation, but it's anticipated he's going to be sidelined for between 3 to 5 weeks. So that's still 3 to 5 weeks. I mean, if you're looking towards the latter stages of that, it's a pretty significant injury. You know what I mean? It's certainly not faked or anything like that.
I understand that, injury, Owen, but he could have been, you know.
If the injury he suffered, what's this now? Over a week ago. So like 10 days or so ago, right? If the injury that he suffered 10 days or so ago is enough to keep him out for possibly, 5 weeks, that's like a 6-week injury or whatever. Not that bad, is it? It's not, is it? You know what I mean? Not a fake injury, and certainly not one that he could probably play on with, considering he can't play for about 6 weeks. So it's not fake. He didn't let his team down. We don't need to turn on him. We don't need to call him a fraud or, a wuss or anything like that. And we certainly don't need to blame the fact that we conceded goals on Semenyo and Sesko. Oh, he killed us off. He deserted his teammates, this, that, and the other. He should have done what Wayne Rooney did 15 years ago, which any sort of doctor would probably go, don't do that, And Wayne Rooney finished his career when he was like early 30s. Semenyo and Sesko's 22. That whole thing, we need to calm down. And again, you stop throwing players under the bus like that. They got injured. We hate them now. They're going to be a flop. You have to be careful. And as Sully mentioned on Twitter, it was a medical team decision to bring him off. Because guess what? They're fucking doctors. Of course they know what they're doing. You make that worse. And if it was a knee injury that could keep him out for 5 weeks, who knows what worse damage he could have done if he played on for the betterment of a couple of extra minutes. We've got to protect our players. We've got to protect, the people that are particularly someone that's young like him that we're hoping to invest for in the long term. So, yeah, it was just, I think it was just for some reason, because of the frustration of what happened in that game and the collapse, we always have to, like you said, we have to pick someone to blame, don't we? We have to pick someone to pile on. So it was Sesko. How dare you?
It was him.
Get injured.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous. And when you clearly see, obviously, he's out for, like you said, how long he's out for. At worst case, they're saying, a month. It could be less than that. And he's out for even longer. Then what would we be doing? Do you know what I mean? Clearly, if he would have stayed on an extra 10 minutes or whatever, that could be the difference between a 4-week injury and a 12-week injury. You know what I mean? So maybe worse. So you don't mess about with knees. Clearly, if he was that fit to continue after 2 weeks, he would have been back. If it was something that he could have carried on playing with, he would have been back after 2 weeks of international break. That's for sure. Or maybe come back after 1 week when we get back. So maybe 3 weeks in total. But he's going to be out for a month. So, but also that month is going to is it going to include the 2-week break that we just, or is it?
I don't know.
Sort of like a month from now. You don't really know when it starts from.
If it's 5 weeks from like now, then again, it was clearly this wasn't like this. This isn't a knock on the knee. You know what I mean? This isn't a dead leg. This isn't a he's back after, because even when we said we didn't think it's that bad, there was still some like, well, maybe like. Not the first game after international break, but maybe the next one. They're already going like, like we're looking at December. You know what I mean? Well, really, if it's like 3 to 5 weeks, we're sort of saying, well, he might not play again this year in 2025. It's a bit close, isn't it? You know what I mean? And considering that, you get towards the end of the year, there isn't as much festive football now as there was previously. So he might not play again in 2025, but you should have came.
Can I ask you this?
Can
I ask you this? And people of the chat. So we now know that he's injured for a month. So we definitely know, obviously, Everton, he ain't playing on Monday night. Let's be real. He ain't going to play against Palace away either. Next couple of games. No. There's an opportunity. Guys, Joshua Zirkzee. Okay.
I knew you were going
to. We got to ask the questions, Owen. Because I want what's best for Man United. I don't, you know what I mean? Let's be honest.
Of course you do.
Is Cunha going to continue up front? Or is Joshua Zirkzee getting the game time that everybody is asking for or anticipating? I say everybody, a lot of people want. Because I want to see it too. I want to see him given a chance. I just don't think Amrin will.
Cunha and Bumo.
Yeah.
Mount. Or maybe Ahmad might get moved there and then right wing back. That's when it gets to Mazraoui. Or maybe Dalot goes on the right and Dorgu goes on the left. He certainly won't start. He certainly won't start Zirkzee.
Will he? Okay. In fact, you know what? That's too easy a question. No, because he won't start. Will he get these newly found minutes of trust?
I'd probably get some minutes. He got minutes against Brighton. We happened to be 3-0 up at the time, and then he hasn't really got any minutes since.
So when these games are tight, so when you say minutes, because also we have to clarify the minutes, because again, we can get technical with this when we start getting a bit, because we're talking about real level of trust. He brought him on at 3-0. That's the only time we did trust him. then
Yeah.
obviously when the game's tight, he ain't trusting him. If the game's tight at Selhurst Park and at home against Everton, in the meaningful, is he getting meaningful? What we all know is meaningful. Is he getting meaningful minutes? Game changing minutes.
Probably. I think Amorim, I think he's in a bit of a conundrum about substitutions at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on it. Like, I still will die on the hill that actually the substitutions he made against Spurs were the right substitutions. And a lot of people criticize that.
They
but I
definitely
think when you look at the game, the two injuries, Maguire, Casemiro, Dorgu's on a booking. We were saying to,
Cunha playing rubbish.
Yeah, they were the right ones to do. But I do think he's maybe in his head a little bit in the sense that after the Brighton one, 3-0, makes the subs. We're conceding goals. Got to make more subs to try and keep the game, so we win it. Then at Forest, he was really keen on not making subs. He was happy with what he had on the pitch. So I think it's a really difficult one to answer. I think I'm just not sure if he feels like, oh, we need a goal, I'm going to bring on Joshua Zirkzee. I just don't know if he feels that's...
Or not even a goal, just control. We need to change something, He definitely doesn't feel like we need a goal on going to him. I feel like it will be it'll be like we need to hold on to keep the ball more. We need a focal point up there. We need to...
Mate, I mean, the only thing you could do, like Sir Alex used to do this quite a lot, didn't he? If you had a good record against a certain team or you played well against a certain team before. Last year, Zirkzee scored twice against Everton at home. He might do the whole look, you got a couple goals against Everton last season at home.
It'll be the perfect thing for him. It'll be the if he... It obviously would be shocked if he started against Everton. Would be shocked at that because that's just Amorim hasn't shown us anything to do with along those lines of thinking. It would be Cunha, but if it is Joshua Zirkzee, this is an opportunity. This is a window now. This is a window. It's coming up to January. If we can get a look in and take it, it can keep him at the club a little bit longer, and maybe who knows. But it doesn't feel like that. If anything, Amorim sees him as a 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not, which is a bit odd because as a false 9 or someone who can be the glue, and you have Cunha and Mbeumo running off that with Ahmad coming down the side, it could be I think it could be quite good. I actually do. With all the criticism but my thing's not even criticism of Zirkzee. My thing is the criticism of the situation to me, I know we can dress it up and say the word rate versus trust or whatever it is. We all agree that Amorim is not trying to get to him quick and play him. There's other guys in front of him who he puts higher than him then. You know what I mean? To me, that just means you're not rated.
It does raise the point, doesn't it? Like, I think that's what we were sort of saying before, that, okay, if you're not really that interested in playing him or bringing him on, then you should probably get rid of him and find someone that you are interested in bringing on. You know what I mean? That's why I was confused by the whole no chance you're leaving in January. Is that because that must then just be because they don't think they can find someone better out there than what they've got? You know what I mean? Because if they could, then you would say, well, then get rid of him and go get that person that you feel can contribute a bit more, because he's not contributing that much at the moment, is he? So that's why I sort of go, well, that whole no chance thing, we'll see in January. Because I think, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe his reps start to push that one a little bit harder. I mean, particularly with the World Cup around the corner. And you've seen people like De Ligt playing games. He's getting back in the Netherlands squad, so it's not impossible to get back into that team.
Now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't get a kick before. Red Baron says Zirkzee athleticism is not up to the squads, which is huge in Amorim's side. Look at our side compared to Erik ten Hag's. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's crystal clear to me anyway what Amorim thinks of Zirkzee personally, and it's not a personal thing. It's not a distance. People think you mean it as like he hates his guts. He can't stand the sight of him, and you say not rated. It sounds a bit strong, but like Ty says, in football terms. Not with what he has and the construct of his team. He go to him last choice, last chance saloon. But we'll see. This is the opportunity that I'll either be proved wrong, and it's like, see, look, he's getting a lot more minutes, and but then you have to look at when Sesko gets back, then he's back to not being rated again or whatever. Or if he still can't get the amount of minutes we're expecting him to get or wanting to get in this period, then there you go. It proves he's not rated. Guys, big up to yourselves. A big pat on the back to everybody again for yesterday. I'm still running off adrenaline for that. I am tired. But we go again tonight. We can't be doing that and then not supporting the national team for one game, 90 minutes away from making their first World Cup finals since 98. Like, we have to. So I'll be on Football Flex later on. So yeah, doing a watch along for that. it must be done. I don't care if there's 5 people there watching with me, whatever. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Yeah. All right, people, have a good day. Have a strong day. Tack the week. Go and get it, man. Blessings. And
is there a
there is. It's at the latest show though of a later time of 8 p.m, which is great for me because I'm not even tired. So that's great.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
And then that can be your bit of momentum to kind of build up to later on in the evening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do that. Maybe have a nap, wake up, and then do the other game. The game. So yes, we will. We've got to keep going. Talk sport later on as well. Guys, we're out of here. Take care. Peace.